ladies and gentlemen. We're coming to you from beautiful downtown Dublin again with our great friend Raymond Joyce with the County Extension Office. And Raymond can share with us so much information. And here we are at summertime, and we look through the school year and we look through things that young people can take advantage of, can learn so much about. And I hear so many positive things on 4-H, on FFA, and the many facets thereof, on showing goats, which is huge now, showing cows, swine is such an integral part, and so many young people get a lot out of it. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of encouragement through University of Georgia to go into that field. To go into some type of agriculture. So well, share with us a little bit about what opportunities. First of all, maybe just a little bit about 4-H and where we are with 4-H. Most people know about it, but give us a refresher.
4-H has been a part of the Extension Service since it was founded shortly after it was founded in the early 1900s. And 4-H was actually started here in Georgia in Newton County by a school superintendent. He started it as a boys' corn club. The youth back in the early 1900s, everybody lived on the farm, everybody grew things, and what he did was a way to educate, to help educate along with Extension, to help educate. If you train the young people, a lot of times that will move over to the adults. They'll take it home, share it with the adults. And what they did was the boys grew corn, and they exhibited it at the fairs. We had a lot more fairs, local county fairs, state fairs back then. And they would exhibit their corn. They would also raise it to be used on their farm as well. They get prize money at the fair. They would actually be able to sell it for their animals that they had on the farm. And so it started out as a boys' corn club. And then the girls, to bring them into that as well, we started the Girls Tomato Club. And what the home economists, as they were called back then, they're called now fax agents, they work with the girls and the adult women to actually learn how to grow tomatoes. And they grew the tomatoes, they harvest the tomatoes, they could sell them, they could give them away, they could take them to the fair and exhibit them. Then the other side of it is, back then, people didn't have refrigerators. They didn't have freezers, at home, right there to do it. So what they did was they taught them how to take those tomatoes and can those tomatoes in glass jars, much like what many people do today. And in the past, say probably past decade, canning and freezing of vegetables, particularly canning, has really come back into vogue, back into style, and people want to do that a way of saving money. And so the girls learned to do that. And then eventually that transition, the Boys Corn Club, the Girls Tomato Club, became into know as what we know as 4-H. And the four-leaf clover, the head, heart, hands, and health is what the 4-H's stand for. And we have the green and white with the four-leaf clover there. Today, now again, we still have a lot of those projects that we still have, as you mentioned earlier. We have our livestock projects where students in grades, primarily grades 5 through 12, although we do have some livestock projects that are younger. They start out in the first grade, particularly like the goat project, for example. They will exhibit goats. We're in the process right now of getting ready for that season coming up. But in addition to the livestock, we have a lot of public speaking opportunities. When I was young, Paul Riddle and Jane Tripp were my 4-H agents in my younger years, and I went and presented, made that through 4-H and did a public speaking through a demonstration showing you how to do things. And then also we have a lot of judging events. We have a lot of community service activities going on, so it's all over the state of Georgia. But here locally, like right now, Erin Parker, who is our 4-H agent, she joined us in January of this year. She is our 4-H agent now, and she's doing a wonderful job in working with the schools and working here. They just have been doing the past few weeks here, going on different events or activities, summer activities. Every Tuesday and Thursday during June, they have been going somewhere locally here. They've done things like making dog toys for dogs for the Humane Society. They actually took old T-shirts, made them into little things that you can play with the toys, and the kids made them. They made several hundred, I think, and took them out to the local Humane Society.
Are there more coming for?
Well, we're winding down as far as our summer activities. Like earlier, some of the other things they've done, they went to the nursing home. They made cards and visited the nursing home, several nursing homes in their town. They've actually taken pop tabs. We collect pop tabs during the school year. We take them to remodel McDonald House. I don't have the number, but it's amazing how much money over the years that 4-H across the state has done that. But community service is real big. Leadership skills, being able to get up in front of talking into a group.
Excellent.
Judging events, we actually had a poultry judging. We were talking previously on previous shows about poultry. Aaron trained a group of young people who actually competed at the district level, and they won by their score. They actually got to go to state and qualified to go as a basically as a team, you know, that didn't go up in the first, second, and third or whatever, but as far as the rankings, but they actually got to go and compete and did excellent there.
Yeah. Great experience.
Great
for
experience
them.
for
In
them.
years to come.
Years
they will
to come,
place.
they will place, and Aaron has plans for them hopefully to continue.
Yeah.
But lots of things for them. We do in-school meetings for our 4-H clubs with the help of the Lawrence County school systems, the City of Dublin school systems, Dublin City Schools, and we also have homeschoolers. We have a homeschool club that the kids can come and participate in 4-H.
How does one get involved, though, when the new year comes around? How does a parent encourage their young person, their kid, in those earlier grades to become involved for it?
We start out in 5th grade in the school systems. We actually go into the schools. We actually conduct a club meeting. We actually conduct an educational program on a topic related to them based on QBE and based on all the school skill, all the things the teachers are required to do as well. We're required to do that also.
Yeah.
But they will be enrolled that way and can participate. We give each month, we have a newsletter that they can take home and look at it. Let's say if you are a homeschool, or let's say you're in a private school or something like that, you can still be involved with it, but you'll just need to contact the extension office and specifically ask for Erin Parker, and Erin she can go and tell you about all the things that are going on. But speaking of livestock, we're getting ready for that. We're getting, it's time. We just finished the show season back in February. Now, our livestock folks are getting ready again. We've got exhibitors, kids who are buying their goats right now. We've got young people buying their cows, their beef cows and all, steers and all, and they'll be getting those ready. We'll be tagging those animals and registering those animals. We put an ear tag in their ear so that we know that that's the right animal.
Yes.
And we do that, and then we register them, and they can go to open shows all across the state. There's open shows, just whether it be a 4-H sponsored or an FFA sponsored or Young Farmer sponsored or Extension sponsored. You can go. They'll take those goats and they'll take those cattle, and they'll actually take them over to the fair. And in October, over at the Georgia National in Perry, and they will compete there in the goat show, state goat show, and the state, and they'll also show their animals there. And then in February, they'll take some of those animals and continue on into the state shows for our hog and cow over in Perry in February. But we have kids locally who have shown hogs, which are very big, swine. They do that in the fall and do that in the winter time. We also have kids who showed lambs. We've had some that have shown sheep over the years. We have a young 4-H'er right now that is showing steers and purebred Hereford animals, heifers, that are showing that. So the livestock project, in addition to the other projects we have, does build responsibility for them to be able to take care of that animal. They've got to go out there. They've got to get that animal used to them, and that means by walking them, by washing them, grooming them, taking care of them every day. They need to feed them in the morning. They'll do it in the afternoon. And they have to learn how to handle that animal, and they become a team working together in the show ring that way. And then other events, just like we're getting ready to go in a couple of weeks for our summer camp. Our campers from here will be going to Rock Eagle 4-H Center up at Eatonton. It's the largest 4-H center that we have, and it was there. It is known, the reason it's got the name Rock Eagle is because there's actually a rock effigy there that is in the shape of an eagle, and you can go, the kids will get a chance to hear more about the history, participate in classes, activities, fun things they'll do. And we've also had kids, older kids, who've gone to other specialized camps like Marine Resource, where they actually go to the beach and learn more about the ocean. We also have kids that do more up in the mountains to extreme camp, where they're doing rappelling, hiking. We also have military camps that are sponsored by 4-H for kids whose parents are in the military, may be deployed overseas, that they can go and participate in. But we have those activities. Now, our sister or cousin organization, if you want to say, is FFA.
Yes.
FFA is a great organization. They provide some of the same activities that we do in a little bit different format than we do. They have summer camp. They go up to Lake Jackson up there, and they have camp up there. And the FFA, the difference is for us, the 4-H program is through the University of Georgia Extension and Fort Valley Extension as well. And then for FFA, that is based through the Department of Education in the state. In each school here, we have an FFA program at Dublin High, we have an FFA program at East Lawrence and at West Lawrence. In the county schools at East Lawrence and West Lawrence, they actually have, both schools now have a middle school program. So when they get in the 6th grade, they can be an FFA member and participate in those activities as well. Kids can take ag classes, just like you and I did. Sure. I know I did through Mr. Fulford and Mr. Wood over at East Lawrence when I was in high school. We learned to welding, woodworking, concrete work, electrical work, many things that you and I use today. They learn those classes in addition. Horticulture, if they like gardening, they teach horticulture classes. All the schools have greenhouses, and so they're able to, the kids can actually get their hands into do it. Yeah. So the ag school, the ag education is very strong in the state. And one thing about it, you mentioned earlier about the labor or the employment or going into it. Most people, when they think of 4-H, they think of FFA, they think of row crop farming, and row crop farming is essential, but it's not for everybody, as any field of study or any field of work is not for everybody.
That's right.
But for every graduate at the University of Georgia, through the College of Ag and Environmental Sciences, we have 3 jobs for every 1 graduate available. So 3 jobs for every 1. Now, with technology, if a kid likes technology, we have tractors that are planting using GPS. We have farmers that are using GPS in a lot of things. You can be a salesperson, you can be a researcher, you can be an extension agent, you can be an ag teacher. You know, all of those things are there for that, and you can go to the University of Georgia, you can go to Fort Valley State University.
Yes.
You can also go to our Tifton campus. We have ABAC, Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. They provide a 4-year ag degree now, and also we provide, UGA has a campus, and we provide a 4-year degree there. Plus, we also provide a master's program at Tifton. You can also go to Griffin, at our campus in Griffin, and do the same thing as far as ag.
There's so much opportunity in
ag.
Yes. So much opportunity. You can go online, you can get in touch with Raymond.
Get in touch with us.
He'd be glad to help you at the University of Georgia Extension office here on Telfair here in Lawrence County. We'll take one short break and be back with a little bit more information for you, so you stay tuned.
First Lawrence Bank invites you to experience banking at its best. Whether you have personal or business needs, we're a full-service bank big enough to handle all of your banking needs and small enough to provide you with that personal touch you've grown to expect from a community bank like First Lawrence Bank. Looking forward to your future? That's First Lawrence Bank in Dublin and Dexter. Member FDIC.
Dublin-Macon Cardiology, celebrating over 14 years of serving Dublin and Lawrence County. At Dublin-Macon Cardiology, we're always committed to taking care of you and your heart. Bringing state-of-the-art cardiac care closer to home with a walk-in chest pain center. New patients are always welcome and no referral is ever required. Dr. Vega is proud to announce the addition of Elise Rotrammel, a nurse practitioner, to our staff. Drop by today at Dublin-Macon Cardiology, 206A Hospital Drive in Dublin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back. Now, we've talked about many different things, many different opportunities, but there's a lesson that can be learned for any age person who would like to learn about canning and putting up vegetables. Right. Now, there's a real process to it, a proper way to do it.
True.
And we probably, many of us, especially our age and beyond, grew up with that going on around them. It was a summertime thing, you know, it was the harvest and the blanching and freezing or either canning the product. So tell us a little bit about that and opportunities maybe to learn more about that.
There it is, and this is a perfect time. Right now, corn is coming in, and a lot of people will be putting corn, freezing it. They'll blanch it, go through that process, and then they'll freeze it, and so you'll have fresh corn. You can do that with many of the vegetables that you either grow yourself or you buy from someone else, a local vegetable garden stand, or you go to Market on Madison. Oh yeah, wonderful opportunity to come down on Saturdays and come down and meet the people who grew the vegetables, produce the, and you can buy that and you can process it so that you can use it later in the year. Now, Extension has been a forefront of that all the time, that like we mentioned about the Girls Tomato Club. With that, people in years gone by in the early 1800s, 1900s, did not have a way of preserving food, so it was either in the smokehouse for the meats, using salt and other things, or it was either canning them and putting them in glass jars, and there they were. So, and to learn more about that, we have a lot of publications, we have a lot of videos available. Susan Moore, who is our Family Consumer Science Agent here in Lawrence County in the Extension Office, she can tell you, she can work with you, helping you through that process of learning how to can. We have publications available. We have a book called So Easy to Preserve that basically goes through and shows you step by step of how to do that. Some of your canning process, you use a water bath, and you know that's a term we use where you put them in a water, hot water. We also use a pressure cooker to pressure seal them and all that. So there's a lot of process. You have to be very careful, because anytime you're handling food or preserving food, you've got to do it the right way, or you can actually cause people to either be sick, cause food poisoning, or either worse, death. So,
but it's not difficult.
It is not difficult if you follow the rules, follow the directions, and Susan can answer any questions that you have on that. And we also have online, for those of you who want to go online, if you go in and type in food preservation or type in National Food Preservation Center, you will pull up, and it will be a website that is maintained by the University of Georgia, and it is for anybody, and we have all of the publications that you can get through our office here locally. You also have videos that you can watch, or you can actually buy the videos and actually bring them down. But a lot of things that your mother and my mother and her grandmother and your grandmother did were wrong as far as some of the things that we were doing. So you need to make sure that you're doing them the correct and safe way for not only your safety, but the safety of your family. But it's easy. And again, like I said, decades, you know, it had kind of fallen out of fashion. People didn't do it.
But it's more so today.
Yes, people want to know.
Preserves, fruits,
fruit preserves, figs, yes.
Strawberries, blueberries.
Any kind of fruits like that you can, I know you're making me hungry.
If you make too much, bring it on
There you go, bring it by. But you can actually do that. There are easy recipes to do jams and jellies with a lot of different fruits that you can buy that way. And we can help you with that as well to do that. But we're also, and Susan's actually, we talked previously about 4-H, and she's actually doing a canning class with 4-Hers that have been doing our summer classes. So we'll have 4-Hers from around the county that will be coming to the Extension office to learn how to do that as far as in the process of canning and making jams and jellies. She did this year, earlier in the school year, or actually in the spring of the school year, Susan actually worked with West Lawrence High School. She worked with Dublin High School in their vocational education department. I may be using the wrong term, there's different terms, but I grew up and knew it as vocational ed. With skills. But she actually went and taught the students and worked with the teacher there to teach those students how to make jams and jellies. To actually do the process, walk it through using strawberries and making strawberry jam. She actually walked them through it, and they actually got to do it hands-on in the school system. So she can do that with groups, you know, such as the school system, working with them as well. Much like myself, I go in and work with the school systems on different things as well, related to growing things and like that with the classes, kindergartners primarily. But Susan has been reaching out, and the schools have been reaching in to us to get more involved with the schools, because a lot of those kids in our school system here in the county are not exposed to those things. And so by getting to it, and a lot of people who just think, hey, I want to try that, you can do it, whether it be freezing, whether it be canning, whether it be, you know, making jams and jellies, canning your vegetables.
You can do it.
You can do it. You can also do meats. You can also dehydration. You can, if you don't want to do, there are a lot of dehydrators, and we have a world of information on dehydrating fruits and meats so that you can preserve them and do it that way. We talked in earlier segments and shows about organic. A lot of people, you can go buy that material, you know, at the store, dehydrate it, put it up just like you want to that way. But again, read the rules. There's pamphlets available. There's a book that you can buy from us. I think it's under $20. I may be incorrect on that. Don't quote me with that. And then, like I said, we have a world of videos and information that way. We also do testing of pressure canners. We're to make sure that the pressure canner is actually working properly. Susan can do that, where she actually can take your pressure canner lid or pressure canner and actually make sure that the seal in that pressure canner is actually sealing properly. And you can actually buy those the canners. You can buy the glass jars, all of the material. I have seen it around town at a lot of different locations, lawn and garden centers, farm supply dealers, grocery stores, big box stores, you know, your discount stores, Walmart, Cordell Lumber Company, Roach, all of those different ones, Blacks, everything. There's a lot of things that you can get that way.
Yeah, you can do it, ladies and gentlemen.
You can do it yourself.
You should try it because the taste is there. The satisfaction of doing your own thing is huge.
Being able to say, this is what I've done. You know, I know a lot of friends of mine who do the preservation, food preservation. Some make their own ketchup that way. Some make their own salsas. So there's a lot of different things that you can do by learning, and we can provide that information for you.
If you need more ideas, you get in touch with the county extension agent.
Right.
Just give a call to Susan.
Yeah, Susan Moore, our fax agent, she can answer those questions.
You call that number and someone will answer and put you in the right direction.
That's correct.
We appreciate you so much, Raymond. You've been a vital part of our community for many years.
Well,
There's so
you.
many success stories that different people in the community have shared with us over time of how you've helped them, and it means so much to us as a community. It really
Well,
does,
thank you. It's a wonderful place to work. Lawrence County's great. The citizens of the county and the municipalities, everything, great folks to work with. And we appreciate you from the Extension office here. We appreciate TV 35 and what you helped us to get the word out on different things that we're doing and that people can learn more about, and we appreciate that too.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we'll leave you with Go Dogs.
Go Dogs, that's right.